Welcome, crypto fam. In today's show, Bitcoin traders pinpoint support levels as the Bitcoin price taps $26,200. In breaking news, Ben BitBoy Armstrong was fired from his own company, BitBoy Crypto, due to financial damage and substance abuse. Quoting Max Kaiser, who called it, BitBoy never understood Bitcoin. Now he's about to get crushed by his ignorance. Bitcoin is weeding this guy's genes out of the gene pool. Also in today's show, Bitcoin revenue per terahash nears record lows as the hash rate continues to soar. We'll also be discussing $170 billion in deposits are leaving the DeFi ecosystem, according to Into the Block. We'll also be sharing Crypto Analyst predicts the final dip before the Bitcoin full-blown bull market. I'll be sharing his targets, as well as Pantera Capital doubles down on their big Bitcoin price prediction of $148,000 per BTC by 2025. I'll be breaking this down for you, as well as the latest from Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model. He made his most recent Bitcoin price prediction, quoting him here. For the next cycle, the stock to flow model expects or predicts $532,000 per Bitcoin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this plus so much more in today's show. And welcome everyone just tuning in. Just a quick little reminder to smash that subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day. Just like this. And a quick reminder, I created a new channel, which is Crypto News Alerts Clips, where you can get clips on a daily basis taken from this live stream. Please help support the movement, as I greatly appreciate everyone's support. And welcome everyone. This is pod episode number 1385. I'm your host JV, and today is August 28th, 2023. Happy Monday. Lots to cover as always. So let's start with our market watch for the day. Unfortunately, the market is back in the red. Bitcoin barely holding on to that $26,000 support. We also have Ether down 0.5%, trading just above $1,600. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, same as yesterday, just barely above 1 trillion with about 24 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with Bitcoin dominance at 48.3% and the Ether dominance at 18.9%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, we got Curve Dow token up about 6%, trading just above 48 cents, followed by XDC up 4%, trading at 5.3 cents, followed by Kronos up 3%, trading just above 5.2 cents. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, it looks like Hex is leading the pack up 13.3%, and the majority of them, unfortunately, correcting and in the red. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated at 39, which is fear. Yesterday was a 38, the same as last week, and last month a 52, which is neutral. And welcome to each and every one of you joining the Crypto News Alerts live stream, which we do here each and every day of the week, 7 days out of the week. I appreciate everyone's support. Be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from in the live chat. But now let's dive into our Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts and what's popping with the King Crypto, shall we? Bitcoin recovered its weekly losses today, August 28th, as risk assets rose on the Chinese tax cuts. Here you're looking at the Bitcoin 1 hour candle chart. Data from Cointelegraph and TradingView followed a Bitcoin price uptick into the day's Wall Street open. Bitcoin managing to get just above 26.2, marking its highest level since August 25th, and fully compensating for the weakness seen overnight. News that China had cut tax on stock trading by 50% appeared to buoy U.S. futures into the open as the S&P 500 and NASDAQ subsequently opened up 0.6 and 0.7%, respectively. And as Horse shares here, Bitcoin's still in a 3-day composite, but has shown signs of absorption below. I wish it was liquid enough like the ES or NQ. And to simplify, just saying hold 26.1 and those signals at 26,275 get cleaned up. Now, quoting Mikhail Van de Popp, another analyst we commonly cover here. First of all, the 200-week moving average lies beneath us. It's at 25,650 on Bitstamp or 24,750 on Binance. The conclusion is you don't want to drop beneath that level, and you'd preferably want to mimic 2015 to 2016. And he goes on to share, if the 200-week moving average sustains, conclusions are that we're bottoming out here, and we are potentially getting to a massive entry point. If it is lost, I'd like to be looking at a case of 19.5 to 21,500 as the next big entry point and final capitulation. And on the lower time frames and over the week, it's still possible to sweep below the 200-week moving average as long as we don't lose that level. Now, he also shared that two strategies can be deployed. Number one, sweep at 25,750 for an aggressive long entry towards the other side of the range. Or number two, sweep of 25.2 towards 24.7 to 25,000 and bullish divergences on the higher time frames. That's the golden trade and could be the start of the reversal. However, 25,750 should be reclaimed in the bounce. Otherwise, this trade could be invalid or stopped out. And quoting Titans of Crypto, Bitcoin 25.9 is the level to watch. He mentions that the key June is at 25.9, supported the Bitcoin price once more in the weekly time frame, and that's the level to watch. And if it holds, I won't be surprised to see a pullback to another Tenkan level at around 28,400. Now, we also must discuss that the RSI stays very low for the second week. Quoting Analyst right here, 7 out of 8 times it went below 25 last year, corresponding to the local bottom, and a 30% minimum rise followed. Great point. So let me know if you are currently bullish or bearish on the King Crypto. Do you think we're likely to continue dropping, maybe sub 25,000 incoming, or do you think we're likely to rise on up? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. Now, I actually want to share some breaking news I found just before going live. It says Ben BitBoy Armstrong was fired from his own company because BitBoy Crypto, due to financial damage and substance abuse. Interesting. Now, Max Kaiser back in March called him out and said BitBoy never understood Bitcoin, and he's now about to get crushed by his ignorance. Bitcoin is weeding this guy's genes out of the gene pool. Only Bitcoin maximalists will survive to propagate. Bitcoin is the windshield, and BitBoy is the bug. Very interesting, though. How do you get fired from your own company? I guess it happened to Steve Jobs back in the day, right? And then he went out and discovered Pixar, and he got back into his own company. But ironic, to say the least. Wasn't expecting that. Now let's break down the latest with the hash rate, which continues to soar, which is a great metric, which shows us a strong foundation of the Bitcoin price, as Bitcoin price action typically follows the hash rate. So let's break down these fundamentals, shall we? And welcome to everyone just joining in. Bitcoin mining revenue, or hash price, is a measure of the dollars earned per terahash per day, has slumped to levels not seen since the collapse of FTX back in November of 2022, while the hash rate reaches new highs. Over the past week, the Bitcoin network hash rate topped 414 exahashes per second, August 18th, marking the new peak for this metric. Now, the peak has seen network hash rate surging 54% from what it was at the beginning of this year, and 80% over the past 12 months, according to blockchain.com. However, while the network looks good in terms of security, things are not so rosy for the Bitcoin miners, as revenue has fallen sharply, hitting levels when Bitcoin fell to market cycle lows of around 16,500 in November of 2022. And according to the hash price index, revenue is just 6 cents per terahash per second per day, around half of what it was in early May, when the Bitcoin ordinals inscription frenzy caused a heavy demand for block space. Now, market analyst Dylan Leclerc commented on the falling revenue and hash rate peak, stating that more efficient new rigs will keep the Bitcoin mining produced, but it is also time for the price to outpace, virtually meaning that the prices need to adjust upwards to keep the mining profitability at such high hash rates. Now, Bitcoin miners have reportedly been relying on funds from stock sales in the second quarter to keep them afloat during the bear market. And as Bloomberg reported, that the 12 major publicly traded miners raised about $440 million through stock sales in quarter two. And as I pointed out yesterday, 4 of the 5 most major Bitcoin mining firms are owned by BlackRock. They're one of the primary shareholders, so keep that in mind as well. Now, Mark Jafafik, who runs the Bitcoin Capitalist newsletter, shared some mining companies are diluting shareholders at an excessive rate, adding that if they are diluting you faster than Bitcoin is going up, then you are going the wrong way on the treadmill. So there you have it, fam. How do you feel this is likely to play out? I think the hash rate will continue making new all-time highs. TikTok next block every 10 minutes like clockwork. Let's also keep in mind that we have the Bitcoin halving only roughly 6 months out. So send it and let's freaking go. And now let's discuss this $170 billion, which is exiting the DeFi market in real time right now, which provide some insights into what's going on. New data from Into the Block shows the extent to which decentralized finance has been hit by the crypto market. The blockchain analytics firm said in a new report, the total value locked in DeFi is now at its lowest level since February of 2021, after approximately $170 billion in deposits have already left the sector. Like, whoa. Now, TVL refers to the amount of capital deposited within a protocol smart contract and is often used to gauge the health of the crypto ecosystem. The 2.5-year low comes amid decreased yields and increased incidence of exploits, which has prompted investors to pull back. The amount of capital invested into DeFi protocols has also continued to drop, despite the market trending upwards in the last few months, quitting into the block here. Decreasing token prices led many DeFi protocols into a negative feedback loop where the yield offered to depositors decayed, leading to decreasing TVL, resulting in less perceived value of the protocol, and so forth. So Into the Block said that Unibot, a new Telegram-based trading bot design on decentralized exchange Uniswap, is perhaps one of the few bright spots in DeFi right now outside of the blue chips, quoting them here. Overall, there is plenty of experimentation going on inside of DeFi despite its decreasing TVL numbers. While established protocols are opting through low borrow costs and sustainable yields, new protocols are attempting to simplify the DeFi experience. Though there is no clear answer as to which approach will end up being more successful, there are promising sides for both to reignite the DeFi space. So there you have it. How many of you are actually bullish on DeFi? I'd love to know. Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And do you think this sector will regrow, or do you think it will continue depleting its resources as people continue to move out of it? Let me know, and I'll be reading your comments out loud here in a little bit. Now let's discuss our next story of the day, and that's the final dip targets as per this analyst before we break down the bullish price targets for Bitcoin coming around the halving, with 148,000 being predicted by Pantera Capital, which they just doubled down on, as well as the latest from Plan B and his latest Bitcoin price prediction that the Bitcoin price is likely to reach $532,000 per Bitcoin. But let's start with the final dip, shall we? Closely followed crypto analyst believes that Bitcoin is setting up for one last move to the downside before the birth of a new bull market. Anonymous analyst Immortal tells his followers on X that Bitcoin will likely see a corrective move close to the 20,000 level prior to the parabolic rally above 50,000, quoting him here alongside this chart, last dip ever. And then it shows you the parabola of the market pumping above 50,000 per coin. So Immortal believes that Bitcoin appears to be mirroring its price action in the latter months of 2019 when Bitcoin broke below its support at around 10,000 and dipped all the way down to that 6K level as shared here. Imagine the smell. Now Bitcoin hypothetically dropped that low. How much would you be buying up? Put BTFD in that comment box below. Now looking at that chart, he seems to predict the Bitcoin price will initially fall below 24,000, less than 2,000 away at today's prices, FYI, prior to the rally towards the 30,000 price area. The chart also shows that the rally will likely be followed by a steep pullback to the 21,000 price level. And looking at Ethereum, the analyst predicts that the leading smart contract platform will trade within an ascending triangle pattern in the coming months before breaking out at the start of 2024, quoting him here, in 2025, you will give anything to come back to here. 500 plus days accumulating macro higher lows, my favorite accumulation of this bear market. So based on the trader's chart, Immortal appears to predict that the Ethereum price will soar above 3,000 per coin in the first quarter of 2024. Can someone remind me what's the current Ethereum all-time high? If I was to guess, I'd say it's probably in the $4,000 range, but he's ultimately saying first quarter next year, expect a $3,000 plus Ethereum price. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments right down below. And now let's break down our next breaking story of the day, and that's Pantera Capital doubling down on their $148,000 Bitcoin price prediction before diving into the latest from Plan B. Now, digital asset-focused investment firm Pantera Capital has the conviction that the Bitcoin price will spark a parabolic bull run after the halving event next year, which is scheduled to be sometime in April 2024. Now, in its latest blockchain letter, the firm, which has $3.5 billion in assets under management, says Bitcoin will likely increase by more than 466% from the current value, hitting six figures for the first time in its history sometime in mid-2025. Quoting them here, Bitcoin has historically bottomed 477 days prior to the halving, climbed leading into it, and then exploded to the upside afterward. The post-halving rallies have averaged 480 days from the halving to the peak of that next bull cycle. So if history were to repeat itself, the price of Bitcoin should have troughed December 30th, 2022, and the firm predicts Bitcoin will hit $147,843 around August 13th, 2025, which is 480 days after the next expected halving event, which is scheduled currently to be April 20th, 2024. Pantera also says that based on Bitcoin's historical behavior, the king crypto will grind up to $35,000 per coin leading into the halving event when miners' rewards are cut in half. So there you have it. At the time of the halving, they're ultimately predicting 35,000. In the year preceding the halving, they're projecting $147,843. And they also shared this chart, which shows you the Bitcoin halving rallies. You can see pre-halving, how much we pump, and then post-halving. And it's always post-halving where we hit that cycle peak, just like we did in 2017 at 20,000, and 4 years later in 2021 at the current all-time high of 69 G's, baby. And quoting them again right here, the 2016 halving decreased the supply of new Bitcoins only 1/3 as much as the first. So interestingly, it had exactly 1/3 of the price impact. The 2020 halving reduced the supply of new Bitcoins by 43% relative to the previous halving. It had a 23% as a big impact on the price. Now, the next halving expected to occur April 20th, 2024. Since most Bitcoins are now in circulation, each halving will be almost exactly half as a big reduction in the new supply. If history were to repeat itself, the next halving would see Bitcoin rising to $35,000 per coin before the halving and $148,000 after the halving. Now, keep in mind that Pantera also made a similar prediction last year. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Pantera Capital. And now for the moment you have all been waiting for, and that's Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model and his $500,000 plus Bitcoin price prediction. Let's break this down and then we'll dive into our live Q&A. So I just transcribed the most recent interview I can find of Plan B on YouTube making this prediction. It didn't exist on any article resources, so I had to do the hard work myself, so I hope you appreciate it. Quoting Plan B word for word. And for the next cycle, the stock to flow model expects or predicts $532,000 per Bitcoin. So the core of the stock to flow model is that more scarcity leads to more value, and thus the halvings are the key. In fact, all the action is around the halving. And if you look at the Bitcoin price data, and the trading tool is based on exactly that insight, buy just before the halving. In fact, buy 6 months before the halving and sell after the halving. In fact, buy 6 months before and sell 18 months after the halving, because that's how long it continues to run, right? Now let's look at the chart, and then we can see what's actually going up. So the strategy is 4x the Bitcoin price awaiting the next buy signal. And we already know that the halving will be around April of 2024. So 6 months before that is, well, around October, the closing price of October or the opening price of November. Then it enters the market and will stay there for 2 more years until October 2025, which is 24 months later. And, well, very interesting, if this cycle will be like all the past cycles, the 3 past cycles, I should say, it's not that many. And if we see a jump again, and if, well, the Bitcoin scarcity indeed drives the value of this, then the halvings are very important and the price jumps like clockwork. I think it's likely to continue. How many of you could anticipate that price action for the King Crypto hitting $532,000 per coin post-halving? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below, and let's discuss it. There's many analysts very bullish right now. We have ARK Invest of Kathy Wood projecting a 7-figure Bitcoin price by the year 2030. They even made their most bullish case, which is 1.48 million per BTC, and their bearish case is still over $250,000 per coin. We have Standard Chartered, a major institution, which the primary shareholder is BlackRock, just FYI, I can't make this stuff up. They're also predicting a $120,000 plus Bitcoin price action. We have analysts such as Credible Crypto. He still firmly believes we're likely to hit 100,000 before the halving. As I covered in yesterday's episode, if you missed it, be sure to check it out. Blockstream CEO Adam Back made a bet, putting his money where his mouth is, betting that the Bitcoin price will hit $100,000 per coin before the halving, with the cutoff date being March 31st, 2023. And even Samson Mao chimed in, reiterating the same prediction. He believes the Bitcoin price is likely to hit that $100,000 mark before the halving. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And now let's dive into our live Q&A. Massive shout out to each and every one of you today in the live chat. Good to see you, Jeff, Steve Hub, Steve Kingston, Mr. Still Stacking, what's poppin', Statwise Jenks in the building. We got Digital Dankness, shout out to all the mods, Evan Rivero, Bitcoin Maximus, Barry Sanders. Holy moly, when I was a child, I remember watching the Detroit Lions, and like Barry Sanders was like the best running back of all time. Could you be him? Are you the football player, Barry Sanders? That would be something, wouldn't it? $0 G Row, all good fam. Appreciate you tuning in to the live show as you do. Michael Volkman in the building. Tommy Walton, what is popping? What is new? What's good? What are you guys looking forward to this week in the markets? McLovin, welcome. Says up JV and the Crypto News Alerts fam. What's popping? Shout out to DCA Bitcoin No Alts. Hey there, JV fam from Clearwater, Florida. If this hurricane hits us, we might be underwater. Well, we're praying for you out there. I also have family in Florida, so we don't want any hurricanes to hit you guys. Stay safe, please. Stack the stats and smash the stats with the like button. A great reminder, if you gain value out of today's live stream, all you got to do to show your support, in which it's free to do so, smash the like, drop a comment. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, not just the live chat, but if you're watching it after the show has already gone live, you'll notice the main comment box below the video. That's what helps out the most. And then, of course, make sure to subscribe, turn on all notifications, and also support the new channel, which is the Crypto News Alerts Clips channel. Also, quick reminder that I recently created a Discord server for Crypto News Alerts. You're all invited to join. I highly encourage you to join. It's discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. You also notice a link, to all the social media and every way to connect with Crypto News Alerts in the show notes below the video in the description. And we also have a Patreon if you want to show your support that way. That link is patreon.cryptonewsalerts.net, and there's some fantastic exclusive resources only for Patreons. So with that out of the way, let's continue with this live Q&A. Yeah, let's go. Letting the days go. Didn't buy Bitcoin. Word. Well, we've been pretty stagnant, to say the least. I appreciate all the smash likes. Much love. Barry, welcome fan from Holland. What's good? Jack John, double digits Bitcoin. Let's go. I am all in. Happy to hear that. Shout out to Ryan Borcherfield. Sup, dude? Happy to be a part of the community. Appreciate you having you. Megadon, what's up, JV? What's up, fam? Good to see you. Flip Burger, welcome. Jack, what's good? Lazy Turtle, curious, what cold storage do you use? That's an excellent question. I think my top recommendation for easeability would probably be a Trezor. If you're looking for something a little more advanced and the most secure wallet, you may want to look into a cold card, which is another great option as well. I personally think that any option is going to be better than a centralized exchange, because at the end of the day, not your keys, not your coins. And if you have your coins just sitting on an exchange, they own it, not you. So a hacker can come and steal it, and then you lose your crypto. Or the regulators can usher in some unethical, regulation like we have seen left and right over the past couple of years. And also that can freeze your funds as well. The only way to not get your funds frozen is cold storage. Other options are Ledger, but I don't feel the same way as I once used to with them. And there's probably another dozen or two options. Here's my top recommendation, regardless which one you use, because there's no one right choice for everyone, is to get it directly from the manufacturer. Never buy a Bitcoin wallet from a third party or just a random person on the street or on Amazon, because it could be hacked and they can steal all of your crypto. You want to get it directly from the source and make sure it's sealed when it's delivered to you, because it has that built into it for safety reasons, for security reasons. And Trezor also has the seal when you get it delivered from the person who delivers your mail. So that would be my best advice. Price prediction channel. You already know Artcoin. We cover the best predictions here in the entire crypto sphere. Megadon says, with the fundamentals and all of the ETFs in the pipeline, last time we wake up, what Bitcoin does for humanity. You already know. I think that's great to touch upon the two biggest bullish factors right now: Bitcoin halving and spot Bitcoin ETF. Once BlackRock gets their ETF approval from the SEC, game on. It can usher in literally trillions of dollars into the Bitcoin market overnight, as the total addressable market is like over $700 trillion in this world. And just the top asset managers, the Fidelities, the Schwabs, the BlackRocks, they control over 100 trillion of that total addressable market. And I heard someone share, I think it was Patrick Bet David, he shared that like 80% of the companies in the S&P 500, guess who has an ownership in there? BlackRock. So BlackRock virtually controls the world. So keeping that in mind, and their track record of getting their ETFs approved by the SEC, it's like something like 575 to 1, which virtually means there's probably a 99.9% chance that BlackRock ETF gets approved, because BlackRock doesn't play around. You know what I mean? The only thing is, when will it get approved? That's the million-dollar question. Maybe they're suppressing the price action now by not accepting a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States, so their buddies on Wall Street can get their positions before we go parabolic next year. You know what I mean? Considering the halving is right around the corner. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments right down below. Some more great questions. These ones come from Digital Dankness over from our Discord chat. We do have a private channel which says ask a question, in which I highly encourage you guys to ask me questions. He wrote, can the principles of decentralization demonstrated by Bitcoin be applied to other aspects of society beyond currency? I do think so. Voting would be a great example. We all know how corrupt the voting system is. We know one party probably more than likely won, but they gave it to the other party. Well, if we had voting on the blockchain and it couldn't be duplicated somehow, there's probably ways to implement this technology to avoid the corruption we're experiencing. And this goes for everything. I think life insurance can be on the blockchain. All forms of insurance can be on the blockchain. Mortgages can be on the blockchain. We don't need to do things the way we currently do and have been doing things for the previous hundreds of years with such technology at our fingertips right now. So I think decentralization and blockchain technology will literally transform every industry. Maybe it starts with finance, but I think it's going to impact everything. But what are your thoughts? And that's a great question, by the way, Dankness. I appreciate it. Another question, how could cultural differences around the world affect the adoption and perception of Bitcoin as a global currency? That's another great question. I mean, obviously every country has cultural differences, but they also have a lot of things such as similarities that they share in common. For example, we have the BRICS alliance right now. It started with 4 or 5 countries, but now I heard there's 20, 30 countries joining it, supporting the de-dollarization because they want nothing to do with the US dollar. So here's a great example of people from all around the world coming together to move away from the dollar. And more than likely, they're going to introduce some sort of precious metal backed currency. But who knows? What if they adopted Bitcoin as the legal tender? That would be game changing. However, I'm not holding my breath. I'm not anticipating that, but I'm just saying, what if that were to happen? That would truly be a game changer. Shout out to Josh Runge. Appreciate you tuning in. Mikey likes it. Cryptic Sniper, what's up? What's good? Agreed. Way too many bears. As long as we respect the 50-day moving average and reclaim the 200 next month, all is well. We'll send it. Let's go. I stopped watching BitBoy Crypto as soon as Ben left the daily broadcast. See, I'm so out of the loop. I didn't even know he left his daily broadcast. I didn't even know it was owned by someone outside of himself. I assumed it was his own company. So that's surprising for me to read this news. But I got to give credit where credit is due. Max Kaiser called this a very long time ago, so very interesting. Good afternoon, JV, and to the Crypto News Alerts fam. Good evening or good afternoon, Michael Volkman. Appreciate you. Black Swan the Dawn. There is only BTC. That's right. There is no second best. Shout out to Michael Saylor. You already know. Matthew, that also. He is too focused on altcoins, maybe on which were ish coins. Yeah, you make a great point there. BTFD says, Jeff, word up. Keep stacking them stats, fan. I am still not in the Discord Fiesta chat. Well, we got to get you in there, Evan. Have a little patience with us. And that goes for everyone. You're all invited. It's an open channel. Everyone who watches the show is welcome to join. We are going to be having a $100,000 Fiesta celebration in Puerto Rico, and you're all invited. The only caveat, you can't be a perma bear like a Peter Schiff. Then you're not welcome. Just saying. Anyways, George from Cryptos R Us has it about right. He says that the cost invest 50% into Bitcoin, 25% into ETH, and large cap alts, and 25% into the small mid cap alts. I'm more than 58% Bitcoin, 25% ETH, 11% Litecoin, and 6% other alts, says Steve Hubbs. Thanks for sharing your perspective and your portfolio allocation there, fam. I heard Raoul Pal a few months back claim that he had over 80% of his portfolio in Solana, and I thought that was straight up gambling. In my humble opinion, I don't understand. I can't see how you can't have your primary allocation into Bitcoin. Then I feel you don't understand Bitcoin, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let me know if you guys agree. A true Bitcoin maximalist. Word up, Steve. Tommy says, JVZ, what's up, homie? DeFi is great. The fees suck. So until those settle down and chill, hard to dollar cost average over there on DeFi. Good point. Facts, not your keys, not your cheese, says Matthew. 100%. You already know. DeFi anchored by the Bitcoin monetary protocol as layer 2s and 3s or solutions for the future. Word up. $0 Giro was good. St. Pro Pro in the building. Shout out to Barry Sanders here. DeFi credit card with Satama, word up, good to note. $0, welcome, welcome. Stat-wise, you can't hold Bitcoin for 3 years and lose. 3 green wish years following a massive red. This is year 1 and up 50%. Strap in and let's go. Matthew says, we'll see, Steve. This is the first cycle where Bitcoin supply in the exchanges dropped significantly. And if we get an ETF, I suspect in 2024, it'll break all models. I agree with that. And I can't wait in anticipation of it. Plan B has lost a lot of credibility, says Steve Hubbs. Matthew says, I disagree with Pantera. They might be right, but I like to see all the models getting smashed by the ETF. Money printing having the Bitcoin on the exchanges down to about 1.5 million, half as much as the 2020 halving. Matthew makes some excellent points here. Pantera's 148,000 prediction is conservative, I think, according to Mr. Still Stacking. Word up. I have difficulty trying to estimate that what the ETF will do, so I just consider the ETF pump to be gravy if and when it occurs. Yeah, and also keep in mind, Bitcoin has done what it's done, hitting 69,000 without it. So we don't need it. Honestly, the ETF needs Bitcoin. I truly believe that. Not this cycle, maybe in 2029, says Steve. Okay, 2030, I can see Bitcoin hitting 532,000 as per plan B. Word up, Jeff. Matthew says, I look at the ETF as a way for the normies to get Bitcoin because us plebs will empty the exchanges and will be in competition with BlackRock, hedge funds, pension funds, and sovereign wealth funds. 260 is here. Smash the like and let's go. You already know. Stay safe, Tampa. Stay safe, Florida. Hurricane season is amongst us. Statwise says, Tone Bays and I chatted about $100,000 being tough to break and finally to take it. Lots of people are planning on taking profits there. K-Jam says, Florida, if you're going underwater, don't lose your crypto wallet overboard. Appreciate the warning. Mr. Still Stacking, 532,000 this cycle, perhaps a bit frothy, but the following halving, certainly, I think. Joe Fuentes, there is a bazillion dollar prediction. Word. Nate says 2025 is going to be a good year. Flip Burger, thanks for all the love and info, JV. And for y'all, word up. Yes, Ledger from the factory in France only, says Steve. Michael Anthony, shout out to you. Appreciate you tuning in. Referring to the blockchain as AI tech. You already know AI is a big industry, growing faster than everything else. This hurricane has the possibility to disrupt oil production in the Gulf of Mexico. Good Lord. If so, we can see oil prices skyrocketing and breaking the financial system and the housing market, much like what we see during Katrina. Thanks, JV and the mods. Have fun, fam. Appreciate that. The bond market's collapse will be the avalanche, says Statwise. People focus on gold's market cap, but the bonds are where it's at. BlackRock's plans for Bitcoin are long-term, permanent, and will not be denied. Word up. It is what it is. No doubt, JV, the voting process needs much more transparency and credibility. Preach. David, number 23, some bricks already settling with crypto, just not saying it out loud. Exactly. I stopped watching Data Dash many months ago when he went bearish every day since, probably because he had a short position like everyone else preaching bearishness. I preach the bullishness because I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm not shorting it. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to get some thought-provoking questions. I appreciate that. Thankness. You're the man. Appreciate the insights. And again, welcome everyone to join us in our Discord. BRICS and Bitcoin is inevitable. Nixon shattered trust in one country, holding all the gold for the others back in 1971. What do you think about doing a market cap weighted crypto portfolio? I mean, to each their own. I just stack sats. I'm all the way Bitcoin personally. As I am starting with investing, should Bitcoin be the priority? I personally think so, Ramirez. That's what I would go with. It is the only true decentralized cryptocurrency. It's incorruptible, and it's the only true store of value as far as the cryptocurrency is concerned, meaning if Bitcoin doesn't win, none of the altcoins are going to win. That's a fact. So why bet against it? Friday is an important day for crypto and the markets in general. FYI, says Zero, word up. JVC, BitBoy always gave off SBF vibes, plus he's like 50 plus with a boy in his name. Yeah, it's a pass from the start. Word, I feel where you guys are coming from. Anyways, fam, I got to get running. Lots on my schedule for today. I appreciate each and every one of your support in today's show. I broke down the latest, technical analysis as we do every day. We discussed breaking news with BitBoy being removed from his own company. We discussed Bitcoin receiving revenue per terahash nearing record lows as the hash rate continues to soar. We also discussed $170 billion in deposits have literally left the DeFi ecosystem, according to info or into the block. We also discussed that crypto analyst predicts the final dip for the Bitcoin full-blown Bitcoin bull market, and I broke down his targets. We also discussed Pantera Capital doubling down on their big Bitcoin price prediction of $148,000 by 2025. And we also discussed the latest and greatest from Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, predicting the Bitcoin price likely to exceed $532,000 per coin post-halving. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments.